and KE tell us whether the loyalty card is in existence in relationships today and whether really it goes, far perhaps in making sure that people can hold it together for a long time. And especially for those of us that are married, it is quite tough for you to say that you can leave this marriage just like that. In fact, you're always reminded it will be important to forgive and forget. Just how much can you forgive and forget, and once again place the loyalty card on the table. Gentlemen, thank you so much for creating time. We should have had a lady. I don't want to act the lady in this case because, well, I am restricted from, giving my views and all that, but all the same, let's see how it goes. And so we start off with you, Mest. Your understanding of the loyalty card and whether it is applicable in today's form of relationships.
My understanding of the loyalty card is being able to stay on the path of that relationship that you're in. Being able to stay with one, if it's for men,
Yes.
being able to stay with one lady. If it's for a lady, being able to stay committed to one man without divulging your love to other people or sharing or having them share you with other people. Is it applicable in today's world? Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes, it is.
All right. And so, your understanding of the loyalty card?
Basically, maybe what I can say about loyalty,
Yeah.
maybe you can diversify kidogo. Loyalty actually constitutes to about 65% of what holds a relationship together. So you see, it's a very significant thing in a relationship that should it be tested or injured in any way, it can bring catastrophic results into that relationship. So maybe, yes, it is very important for people to be loyal to each other. And loyalty, maybe if we can expand a bit, doesn't really mean that it should only pertain to cheating. Most people think that it only depends, it's only about cheating, if I cheat on my spouse and such. No. There are so many things that encompasses the issue of loyalty. Yeah, in the beginning of the relationship, we had a discussion. Our views met, and we agreed. I won't cheat on you. I won't engage in drugs if that was a deciding factor for us to get together. I will not gamble and not commit fraud and not steal or commit anything. So I have to be loyal to those agreements that we had in the beginning of the relationship. So anytime that any of those parameters which were set earlier is broken, then most relationships actually go through a very strenuous, catastrophic event. And that the person who has injured that loyalty has the onus to ensure that they regain it back. Yeah, and I think that is why we are here to discuss how we can help people gain back their loyalty, or should they feel that the damage was too much, maybe decide to have an honorable. Sio hii kuchinjana tunaona watu kwa.
And I know, and sometimes we even live in pretense so much. So
Yeah, sure.
if it's not going to be kuchinjana, somebody else will say it's fine. You betrayed this card of ours. I will proceed to betray. Let's be meeting hapa nyumbani and act like everything is all good, which is even bad because that's where now you get to see magonjwa yanaingia and all that. And so I agree to a large extent that of importance it would be, to discuss on the way forward, to regain back that aspect of loyalty, or to as well say kwaheri ya kuonana. And most of the times we've said, we want to shy away from the fact that you can break up and you can divorce. And people struggle so much so with that, and we see the troubles that come along with that.
Yeah. But I think something else that goes hand in hand with loyalty is understanding.
Understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to be able to understand your partner, because if you don't understand your partner, then a small thing would be termed as being unloyal,
okay.
But in real terms, he or she was just protecting you.
Okay.
And trying to be loyal,
Okay.
but in a way protecting you.
Okay.
Because you can find yourself in a situation where probably somebody is hitting on you.
Okay.
and you're already committed.
Okay.
But you do not want your partner to know that somebody is hitting on you.
Okay, and
So they find a conversation on your phone.
You have to say no. Kana kabisa.
No, not you have to say no. The conversation is on your phone.
Yes.
But there are no comments from you. Yes. Somebody is just hitting on you on your phone.
Right.
But your partner comes, looks at your phone and says,
Who is
there's a conversation here. Probably I will end up making my own recommendations depending on what I see on your phone.
yes.
So if I am not willing to understand where you're coming from, if I'm not willing to sit down with you and have a conversation,
Yeah.
then there will be a problem.
Right.
So loyalty also goes hand in hand with understanding, and being able to encompass the whole scenario without being prejudgmental. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about this aspect of loyalty and perhaps get to understand at what point do you begin to embrace this, as an individual, as Linda, and as the other party and all that. Is it before the relationship is formed or after? And why I'm asking this, I'm very particular, is because I have seen people today or ladies saying that, nowadays they will cheat after all. So it's good to make peace with that. And even as you get into a relationship, you're getting into a relationship knowing that men are dogs. And so he is bound to cheat. He is bound to play dirty. And so please don't keep following him because you will get what it is that you want. Or please, if it happens, just know that men are bound to do that. Get into that relationship knowing that, well, he has to hit you at some point in time, and make peace with that. Is that a proper definition of loyalty? And at what stage should we start building this aspect of loyalty? Even before you get your partner, and now when you get to your partner, now you discuss on what the two of you would want, and with your own reservations, you move with this.
I think it all boils down to the kind of partner you choose.
Yes.
There are some people, just to be fair, there are some people who have very poor tastes or very poor, let me just say, taste in partners.
Yeah.
For example,
Okay.
nowadays, unlike Kitambo, we were told when we were growing up, we were told when you go to look for a wife, you have to ensure that they come from a good background, family background, well-nurtured, all those things. And when we went to the dating market, those things that we were taught when we were young, they actually governed the kind of people
You are looking for and
Yes.
you engage with.
And if you look at the relationship dynamics nowadays, very few marriages are surviving now, unlike Kitambo.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kitambo, we used to look for other things apart from what you're looking for now. Like right now, we are looking for someone with a 6-figure salary, big hips. That is why now women are becoming very superficial. We put in on all these things. You see, because we are looking at the beauty standards have replaced virtues that we were taught. So now you are told, I know my man is going to cheat. Yeah, of course, because where did you get him from? What kind of men are you going out with? What kind of women are you going out with? You see, if my taste is for those women with superficial body parts, of course, I know she is looking for attention. I should not be surprised if she cheats. Or that attention-seeking, let me say, nature of hers becomes a problem in our relationship. So the issue is not that loyalty has changed, really. Nothing has changed. It's just that for us, our dating preferences have changed from virtues to superficial, from behavioral aspect of looking at things to how much this guy earns. And if, of course, the more I earn as a man, the more options I have for the ladies.
For the ladies.
Yeah, so, and people are willing to stick to bad relationships as long as those other superficial things are met. Yeah, and my husband is very rich, he owns, but he hits me, heri kulilia
For Range Rover.
Range Rover. And you'll actually die there, you see. Yet you can actually buy your own Range Rover. We need to have that mental change. That it's not what you guys have. It's what I can be able to get as well and contribute in this relationship.
Okay.
So I choose my spouse based on virtues, not based on what is very superficial. And I think those are the things we need to start teaching our children, that you cannot demand loyalty from a cheater. Okay. You knew he was a cheater when you got into a relationship with him. After all, probably he cheated on his wife with you, and yet now after the wife left, you expect him to be loyal to you, and vice versa.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to say something, Mary?
Yes. Loyalty, just like any other aspect of a relationship, is built. It is not something you get like,
It is here.
you need to
And
build
is
on
it relative for different couples? Do you think it's relative, or they are tenets of loyalty that are constant across?
It is relative, because we are not all the same.
Okay.
We do not all get the way, we do not all think the same. So there are people who are slow learners, there are people who are fast learners. And that is why I said it also goes hand in hand with understanding. Because for you to build your relationship, you need to understand your partner. You need to take time to learn what it is that he or she likes. And then don't forget that dating and marriage are two different things.
Yeah.
So if you're dating, you're not married. And when you get married, there are things you learn that you would have never learned as long as you dated.
Yeah.
So you need to build it just like any other part of the relationship. And we, the young generation of nowadays, we don't want to build. We want to get into an already made home. So we do not have the patience to build what it is that we want. We do not have the patience to craft a man or craft a woman to what we want her to be. Yes.
Okay, and so here we are. Then one would want to ask a couple of things about dating and the fact that we accept, it could be relative. Loyalty is relative based on what you want to define your relationship to be. And in this case, I acknowledge that there are people who say that, it's complicated, such that you and your husband are allowed to go and have some moment with people outside and come back. And so that would not look as though it's loyalty to very many people, but maybe to you people, based on how you've defined it, it suffices, or it becomes a good thing between the two of you. So how then do you get to establish or to know that your partner is loyal to you? Because at that point is where you can say, let us declare this loyalty card useless because you have gone against what it is that we agreed. What are the telltale signs? How do you know that now this is a person I can trust? She has been loyal to me year 1, year 2, year 3, and I can sit comfortably, whether in their presence or not, and know that she is not cheating, she's not doing what is against what we have dictated for our relationship.
I think speaking the truth, and the truth doesn't really mean it should be pleasant.
Yeah.
I would rather not find out through friends that my wife cheated. I would rather she comes to me and tell you. Yes.
Is it?
Dennis, I made a mistake. I did this and this. And then, of course, it's going to hurt, but there'll be some sense of respect. And that is what matters most in a relationship. That I can actually trust that this person, no matter what, will always tell me the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is very difficult because most people after cheating, just like Cain, we hide.
Yes.
Yeah, from God, the all-knowing. Yeah?
And I think it's basically what Mest was saying, that sometimes you literally would even lie because then you do not want to hurt them, you do not want to make them feel betrayed. And sometimes there are very many people who will successfully lie without being ever caught on this very matter. Don't you think it would be safer that?
You see, yeah, it is. It will be safer that way, but just like many other things, cheating and being unfaithful, you'll always get caught. Even if it will not be today, it will come out.
Yeah.
And there is that sense of comfort that comes with successfully cheating. Yeah, I cheated and
so you want to do it again?
You'll do it again.
Yes.
But for you, if loyalty is very important to you as well as to me, then I've seen couples actually go through serious tribulations. And the only thing that saved their marriage was when the offending couple, the offending partner, came clean early enough. Yeah, I've also in my own relationship, my wife has come out and told me, you see that money that you had put there, I took it and spent, but I'm very sorry. And you see, you'll feel that this person actually really values this relationship. Yes, you have done bad, but at least one aspect you have tried to cover it up by coming out clean.
Can admitting really and coming out clean really restore the loyalty card?
Yes, in a
Can
big
it?
way.
It does.
Sometimes,
And it will be the same?
sometimes it can.
Yeah?
Or sometimes it can kill the whole relationship
Right.
altogether.
So you have to calculate pretty well
Yes.
on whether to be clean or to come out clean or
No,
not.
it is always best to be clean.
And
It is always best to be clean
Okay.
and accept whatever results comes out. Because again, it will still eat you. And at some point it will still come out that this guy was really cheating. As much as he said he wasn't, he was.
Okay.
I think it's the guilt that actually
The guilt will eat
destroys
you.
the whole thing.
Yes. The guilt on the offending party.
The offending
Okay.
person. And then, and like you might think that you are cheating, but you see, if you have that intimate connection with your partner,
Yeah.
they know something is wrong. It's just that they can't really
out.
pinpoint. So he's going through or she's going through the same hurt as someone who has actually discovered that you are cheating. But the problem is that he or she does not know why he's hurting. Yeah? So if you are trying to protect your wife or your husband from the pain, they are actually going through it. Because cheating and all those bad things, you cannot hide. You cannot hide. We are not perfect. We have our telltale signs. I cannot be connected to him and also be connected to you at the same time. So one has to give. And your partner will feel it. And he's going to suffer through the whole pain, but
Trying to-
without knowing why they are suffering.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it's about protecting them, really, it's not really working, you see. And most relationships, they usually end even without the other partner knowing that this partner cheated.
Okay.
It's because of that turmoil that comes in during the cheating process that is too hard to bear in this relationship. I cannot pinpoint. I'd rather know, why is my wife behaving this way? Is it because of she's seen someone else, someone B or C? You see, rather than, I don't know why she's behaving this way, why is she treating me this way, what have I done? You know, those things. Why is she? You see, those things really destroy the other person. And when they actually discover, you know, those are the relationships that are really difficult to salvage. Yeah.
Okay.
But there are relationships and there are people who actually forgive and decide to move on, maybe because of time. Say, I've lived with this woman for a long time, or this man for a long time, and we have children. And so for the sake of the children, let us try and mend.
Okay.
But getting that loyalty and trust back is a journey that both people will actually have to. It's very painful because every day I'll be seeing you and I remember. And especially if I'm the one who discovered. So when I call you are not answering your call, suspicions. Okay. You see, and those suspicions eventually they become too much to bear, and only those people who are able to brave it out through the whole process actually come out of the whole thing stronger.
Okay.
But very rarely it happens.
All right, and so we all are in agreement that cheating can break the loyalty card, but also there is room for people to negotiate, there is room for people to try and revive things back. How quick or how fast would you perhaps expect for, this loyalty aspect to be restored? Because there's some people who say, well, I have cheated, I have acknowledged, I have said I'm sorry, and I'm willing to go back to it. Why is it that you're not giving me a chance? What is the gap, or what is the timeline that we can accord to this? Or just how patient does this, offending party have to be so that the other person can get to forgive them and then they can restore back, their glory?
That would depend on your partner and the willingness to forgive and the willingness to let go.
Yeah.
Because there are people who would never forgive you for that. There are people who would say, okay, you've come clean, Now this is the way we progress from here. No night outs, no whatever. No, these things are what made you trigger the being unloyal. So we put away this. We stick with this. So it all depends with your partner how long it will take for her to heal, or him or her to heal. Yeah.
What are some of the things that one needs to do, or what should couples do at this point of trying to regain the loyalty back? And I mean, there are people who are willing to do it, but like you say, you want to look at this person a different way, but that constant reminder of what they did will always be there. You want to look at them differently than the person they cheated with is passing, and you can see them, and you do not know how to go about it. You want to look at them differently, but the concerns keep ringing in your head. Yeah.
I think one thing people need to understand, and I is speaking from a man's point of view, cheating is one of those things that men rarely forget or forgive. Yeah, a man will forgive you about everything else, but cheating is very, very difficult for them. Why? Because I think we take betrayal as one of the worst painful experiences anybody can subject any man, be it in the business or in a relationship. And then if it happens, I think the communication from the part of the offending party has to be the key in this whole issue.
Yeah.
She needs to understand that I am hurt. She needs to understand that I will take time to process this whole thing, and I might not be okay with forgiving her or getting this relationship back. It's up to her or the offending party to ensure that they win my trust back. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I should be willing to listen and to understand and empathize, and also take this time to know myself, to know why is it that she cheated on me. There should be no reason as to why another person cheated on another person, but it takes two to tango. Maybe I do not give her attention, I do not give her money, or I'm not really such a good husband, so she cheated.
Right.
But I also need to be honest with myself about it. But the greatest part of the burden goes to the offending party.
Right.
And she has to take time and give me time to process and be willing and know that it is not going to be easy. After all, she offended. So after this discussion, things are not going to be necessarily easier for her or for me or for the whole relationship, because again, suspicions will be there. So there are some things that she must be willing, or he must be willing to give up or to compromise, or to ensure that my trust is gained back.
A constant reminder of ulifanya, does it help in any way in restoring?
It does not.
Yeah.
But before I comment on that, I'd like to talk about something Dennis has said. Sometimes it takes the offended party to reflect on what could have triggered his or her partner to be unloyal. Yeah. So you need to also take time as the offended party to evaluate yourself. Taking it as a constant reminder will only destroy that relationship. It will not help in any way. Because then that means you have not forgiven your partner.
Right.
That means that you are not over the fact that he came out clean and said, yes, I have messed. So if you keep on reminding me, what you're triggering in me is go do it again.
Okay.
Go do it again.
Right.
Because if every argument you're going to have, you're going to say, you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. What I will do, I will pull back. Yeah. And especially men, we like to pull back. And when a man pulls back from you, that is very alarming.
That is alarming.
That should be very alarming to you.
Okay.
Because then he's taking his time to reconfigure himself. So if you don't take time to understand how he's reconfiguring himself, you might end up losing him rather than gaining him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and we take a quick short break, gentlemen, and we come back and understand some more on, especially when you're forming the aspects of loyalty. Let us not breach this, let us not breach that. Is it good, to cap these ones with some aspect of, say, if you do it, this is what you're going to do. These are the ramifications of you doing this and everything. Or you should leave it as open as possible. Let's take that break and then we come back to that. All right, we're back, and the conversation is on loyalty at the space of your relationship with your partner, whether married, whether just dating. It is important to be loyal, and what is loyal is relative. We all agree to every relationship. It is what you and your partner sit down to declare as an aspect of loyalty. It is what you as an individual would say, well, I think when I do this, I feel like I'm loyal to my partner, and therefore I'll continue to uphold this. They always tell you, what, I'll respect you in your presence and your absence. What respect is you and your partner that would understand so much so, just as you would understand your language of love. And so my question, Dennis, would be, when you're sitting down to decide that these are our loyalty lines, these are our loyalty cards, you do not breach this, you do not do this, you shouldn't go against, what it is that we have agreed on the table. Should we always put a caveat? Should we always put, say, a punishment to, what it is that you break? So we say, when you break this, this is what will happen. When you cheat on me, I have no choice but to go. Because sometimes you want to put, rules to it, and then when it happens, you realize that, wow, I cannot even manage these rules because I love this person so much, so I don't know how I can live without them. So they have cheated. Do I go? Do I stay? Yet we all agreed that cheating amounts to exit.
Deal breaker.
Yeah.
I think I would say in a relationship, early enough, it is best to discuss everything.
Yeah.
Set those boundaries. Discuss about divorce. Those are things that people really don't talk about.
Right.
In the beginning of the relationship, most people talk about all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And some even don't even talk. We let time.
Yes.
We let time just work its magic and hope for the best.
Right.
I would say, discuss the good, the bad. Discuss the extremes. Discuss divorce and how you're going to handle it. Discuss that breakup and how you're going to handle it.
Yeah.
You see, if it comes, it will save. Discuss finances. Discuss those issues of loyalty. How far can you push my loyalty? How far can you play the loyalty card? Right. What are the bare minimum? And be willing to change when that time comes, when I find my wife has cheated.
Okay.
And now we have children involved. Things have changed. When you are discussing about these things, we did not factor in the children. So now this is a new situation that requires a new set of thinking. Every situation is different. There are people who I know, close friends, who have gone through serious loyalty shakeups when one of the spouses cheated. And cheating, I don't know why we are sticking too much with it, but cheating is...
It's the grim de la grim.
Yeah, it's everything.
Not in a good way, of course. Yeah.
But they are still together after the lady discovered the man had an affair. And it's been like, I don't know, maybe I'll need to understand from the side of the ladies why ladies are so quick to forgive and men don't.
Men never.
Men don't. It's even if they stay with you, there'll always be something. Yeah. But it takes a lot of time for men to heal and forgive and move on. Because for us, there was something that was said about feelings. Men don't trust their feelings. Men, we trust what we see. We trust our thoughts. Yeah. I have to think and internalize this. But women actually trust their feelings. I love this man, so I can
overlook all these things.
I can overlook all these things.
Yeah, affection.
But for a man, I have to think about what will my friends say. And those are real concerns to them. So when we are dealing about loyalty and when something like that comes up, someone has cheated, it's important for women to understand that men will not go with feelings. We don't trust those feelings. We have to use logic. I have to think, why? How will my friends take it? How will this guy view me? Am I losing my frame? And those things are so real to us. That is why cheating or someone being disloyal is a big deal to men.
Okay.
And for men, being also, we can cheat. We also try to think in a logical way that why is it that you can't forgive me? You tell me in a logical manner, and there are no logical explanations for that. Because I expect now the lady to think logically, yet for her, it's all about how she feels. Right. And I think for men, if you cheated on your wife or you have been disloyal to your woman, you need to understand that at that particular moment, her feelings might tell her that you are not the one. And despite the fact that you try to do anything, you just need to give her time to process her feelings. And for the ladies, they need to understand that the men, we do not trust our feelings. We trust what we think, our thoughts, we trust them, and we trust our logic.
In this moment, you find yourself splitting loyalty, I would say, for lack of a better phrase. And you want to split your loyalty to your wife by, making sure that also you incorporate some or you throw some to your friends. like you will now go and consult Mest and ask him, what do you think? At this point, hiyo imeisha, huyo dem akisha cheat ni hivyo, most likely hata nipenda sana. And sometimes you even have lady friends that you want to consult and you know, hear them. And so at this point, you really are not 100% loyal to your partner, but largely you also want to seek advice, you want to seek, you know, that reprieve from these very other people. So is that a danger in any way? Or from your mom, from your sisters?
At this point, I guess what a man is considering is based on the culture that that we are in, the African culture. The African culture condones men having many wives.
Yeah.
And you will even go to a home and say, and you'll hear them telling you, me, my forefathers had many wives, so I'm inclined to do the same. But our culture does not allow women to have many husbands. You're only allowed to have one husband. So at this point, that is the card that is taking over. So when you go to consult, most of the people will give you based on cultural beliefs, based on what they have seen in their lives, what they have experienced, and mostly it will be based on culture and religion. But for a woman is kind-hearted and will be willing to forgive, but it will also be on condition.
Right.
It will be on condition.
And is it proper to put conditions this time around? If it happens again, we are gone. If this and that and everything. Because if we did not put conditions in the first place, why are we putting conditions at this very point? And do they come in to save or to ease the burden?
Conditions is not... I don't agree on putting on conditions. But the nature of humans is that you will need to put a condition because you want to protect yourself from being hurt again. But sometimes those conditions are just words. They are not necessarily meant in most cases. In some cases they are, in most cases they are not. Because you will find that once you've cheated once, then you'll have that desire. If the real issue that made you cheat is not addressed, then trust me, you'll find yourself there again.
Yeah.
So the real issues needs to be addressed. Why did I cheat?
Yeah.
Is it that I wanted that experience? Is it because I lacked something at home? Is it because my partner pushed me to it? Yes.
Okay. All right. So here we are, and we speak about relationships and respect and loyalty and submission and all that. One would want to look at it as though all this should work the same, but there are instances where people will tell you, as long as I respect you, I give you everything that you want, you know, and men tend to do this a lot. I provide, I make sure that she's okay, they do not lack anything, and therefore I can gladly go and do some other things. Uko bora mama asijue. So at this point, respect, loyalty, which is best in a relationship, or should they all go hand in hand? A woman will say, I submit, I make sure that everything of yours is ready, I'm always there when you want me. But now when you travel, I can have myself, someone else on this other side. So respect and loyalty, where is the balance?
I think we need to, first of all, make something clear. That respect, there is an aspect of loyalty in it.
In it, yeah.
Actually, one of the stages of
They're probably one and the same, yes.
There's those 7 stages of disrespect. One of the final stages of disrespect is actually infidelity.
Okay.
And the other one after fidelity is murder. You see, murder precedes infidelity.
Infidelity.
So those two things have to, loyalty and respect, they have to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
As I said, men think, and we don't trust our feelings. And we think that what we have been told as men, our work is to provide. That if I provide and I provide well, that's all I need to do. Because we have been hammered this information from, we are not being told to love our wives. We're told, provide, provide, provide. And then now the ladies are told, look for a man who can provide for you. So society has programmed both genders to view provision as love. And that's not true. So if you hide behind provision, I said provide, and then I have another chick in the back burner. And so my wife should not complain, because after all, I've given her everything she wants. And those are those dysfunctional families that at the end, they always end up badly. Well, always. One thing people need to realize is that for 90% of these murders in the house, spouses, they usually stem out of these funny love triangles. Why? Because infidelity is something that people rarely forgive, you see. Or if I cheat, I can collude with my partner to kill my partner, so that we ni okisiki, huyu ni anafanya for us not to be together. So this thing called respect, if I respect you, I should be loyal to you. Automatically. And we should, once that respect is broken, once that loyalty is broken, that is what I'm saying, it takes a lot for it to be restored. Most of the time, like majority of the time, it rarely goes to the same place. And people usually suffer, especially the children. If there are children involved, there'll be a lot of, because now most men will start even thinking these children are not
theirs.
And as a result of infidelity, and then a child comes in as a result of that, then men rarely manifest. They might stay in that relationship, but they will never see this child as theirs. And that child will have now to suffer because of all that.
Someone sends a message here, and his name is Mugisha, says, I am in a polygamous setup. How do I balance my loyalty between my wives? Interesting question.
You see, polygamy is also a relationship in itself. You entered willingly into a polygamous marriage. So within, there are rules governing a polygamous relationship, and there are rules governing a monogamous relationship, or a polyandrous relationship. So if I went in and I found my wife has 2 more husbands, and then I enter into that relationship, then it's for us to figure out our own, and we have to be loyal to our relationship, as many as we are. And I don't know how, but the polygamous relationships tend to last longer. And how they do it,
I know.
I would like to believe that by him saying he's in a polygamous, all his wives know each other.
Yes.
So being able to sit down with them and make them understand that he loves them both, and he's there for them without favoring any side, that would work perfectly.
That would work perfect. Long distance.
Don't try.
Don't try.
Don't try this at all.
It's a difficult one.
It's a difficult one, because human nature, we are like penguins. We couple. You know, a penguin can couple with one other penguin for life, or like a dove. Doves do that, and also human beings. And long-distance relationships, they tend to keep us in a pretentious mode. I always put my best foot forward. Before I FaceTime my wife, who is in America, I have to be in a very good position at home, so where she can see the cup she left. And maybe if it's my boyfriend, I put on my makeup.
Yes.
See, it's always a lot about pretense. I know a couple, the husband used to work for the UN, Peace Corps. So he was usually out of the country like most of the time. So they dated for many years. They were married for many years, up until the husband retired. So the husband now finally had to come back home and stay. So now there is no pretending here. It's you and me. And a few months later, they divorced. Because they didn't manage it. Because I only know the good part of you. When you talk, you talk.
You rarely fight,
Rarely fight.
Long distance requires a lot of commitment if you're gonna go through it. And dedication. But if you don't think you have that patience, please don't try it. Because if you don't have patience, commitment, and dedication, you're going to mess yourself up. Or you're going to mess another person up. Don't try it if you don't have those 3.
Wow. So here we are, and we say we are in the process of preaching hope and telling people that it's fine. It doesn't matter what kind of loyalty has been broken. It can be, revived. The conversation can lead us to even becoming better. And there's some people who will tell you, she cheated on me. But upon that conversation, we are even better. We are stronger because I know, well, I wouldn't have touched or pressed that button. It's the very same button that got her cheating. And so knowing that, I cannot attempt to do the same. So how do we restore the loyalty card the moment it has been broken?
I think it's about knowing that at one point, there's no perfect relationship. And at one point, your loyalty will be tested.
Yeah.
Or it will be broken. And I can guarantee you there is no relationship in this world, including our parents, as perfect as we think theirs was, that has not had their loyalty tested. Cheating has been, is always looms around the corner, always. I think the only thing is to not be too quick to leave. I think it's always remember that there was love, and that love can always grow back, as long as you are willing to do the work.
Right.
Yeah, and also cheating is just one aspect. There's so many other ways,
aspects of loyalty that
we can
look into.
can test the loyalty in but as long as we have been able to overcome that, even this one we can be able to overcome, and also understand that both people deal with issues differently. I should not expect my wife to deal with things the way I did. I am the one who offended her. Then I should allow her the time and the space to deal with her things in her own way. After all, you guys use feelings, we use logic. So expecting her to use logic and see that we, of course, kuna watoto hapa, hakuna haja ya kuachana, tutapeleka. Those things do not resonate with her. And for her to expect that the love that we had should be enough for me to forgive is... So I think it's a matter of understanding how she copes, how I cope at different things. But we should be willing, for the sake of this relationship, and for the sake of maybe if there are children involved, to work through it.
How constant should, or perhaps how much a gap should be accorded at this time? There are people who will say, let me give you time to heal. Is it proper to give time, or as you give time, be available, be there, talk? Because sometimes, these conversations of rebounds would largely, suffice.
First of all, men, I think we mourn quite a long time. It's not like, you see, when betrayed, a man can actually be, let me say, off network for like a year plus. And I've seen men who have been mad at their wives for many years, and then all of a sudden, imeisha. As long as this is not a small issue, we're talking about loyalty here. These are actually, as I said, it constitutes to 60% of what a relationship is. So 60% of this relationship, let's say, has died. It's up to us to revive it. It's a big deal. So as long as that person, that space he wants, you just give them.
Okay. So how do we revive this in your own opinion? In as much as you would want to give space, you would want to do that, how do you constantly be together so that you also do not lose the warmth that was left, the 35% or perhaps the 40% that was left?
Communication is key.
Yeah.
Understanding is also another thing.
Is it okay to involve other people?
If need be, yes.
Okay.
But from my school of thought, relationships are two people.
Yeah.
There's something my grandmother once told me, or once said in my presence. My grandfather had just died, and my grandfather was polygamous. So when they were having a family meeting, my grandmother was asked, is there anything you want before we plan anything for the burial? She said, no. Me and my husband were dealing with our issues, just the two of us.
Wow.
Now that he's gone, I'm not willing to involve a third party. And from then on, I realized relationships are you and your partner. The minute you involve a third party, you involve a third mindset that does not understand your partner, but has opinions on your partner.
Okay. So it's-
So it is very essential that you be the two of you, that you communicate and that you understand. I'd like to read something from the Bible.
yeah.
The verse that talks about love, that is 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps records of no wrong. Love does not delight in evil, it rejoices with the truth. It always protects, it always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails, but where there is prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. Good. And I think that would be a good note to end it at, yeah? Yes. And we say, well, it is how best you understand your partner's love language and how best you understand the loyalty cards that you have placed on the table, and of importance, respect, loyalty, all these things. Love would go together. Gentlemen, we cannot exhaust this conversation, but perhaps I hope that this, people who are watching us this morning have picked something that would